Welcome to the Bimhunter Hive Podcast, where you listen to interesting fictional stories from aspiring authors for your listening pleasure and relaxation.
Deborah's Confession, written by Bimhunter and read by the author. Introduction. Deborah's Confession is a fiction of three beautiful ladies who had become inseparable after being friends for almost a decade. They were very ambitious, intelligent, and had a genuine passion for the things of God. Having successfully graduated from the university and had a few months until the commencement of their NYC program, the trio decided to take conscious steps to keep the passion for God burning. They joined a vibrant youth ministry and also became active members of its workforce. However, things took another turn when they began getting overwhelmed by life's demands and entangled in their personal desires. They soon realized they were drifting away from the initial sincere relationship they had with their Maker and resolved to retrace their steps back to Him. But before they got to that point, two of the friends who had lived in self-criticism due to the perceived perfect nature of their third friend got a startling confession from her. What were they experiencing during this process, and what were their struggles? All this and more are captured in this wonderful book. Do enjoy your reading. The three of them chatted away at the table as they enjoyed their lunch at Mama Brenda's place. "You're not serious, Ada. What do you mean that I'm a full school teacher?" Debbie giggled. "I'm as qualified as your university lecturers," she teased Ada. "Stop deceiving yourself, Debbie. You and I know that's as far from the truth," Ada jeered. "You both can keep on hagging for all I care. No one can dispute the fact that I'm a talented and practiced fashion designer," Tinu said loftily. "Thanks to your sister. If not for her, it would have just remained That paused to think carefully. "A qualified business administrator, you want to say? Either way, I'm still a skilled, young, talented lady," Tinu said, rolling her eyes. "An inexperienced business administrator, you mean?" Ada replied sarcastically. Debbie giggled. "Ada, the renowned community developer. Kudos," Debbie teased her. "Thank you, Debbie," Tinu said, giving her a high five. "Now, ladies, let me enlighten you both. I'm a first aider, not your so-called community developer. I render medical help to people pending. Please save us the details, we understand. Are you not developing the community in the process?" Tinu sneered as Debbie giggled. "Which makes me better than you. And you, Debbie, please don't forget to write your lesson notes," Ada teased. Debbie exclaimed, "Yeah," as if she had just been hit by a pellet. The three of them laughed heartily. "You know, we need to be very grateful to God for how far He has brought us," Debbie said thoughtfully. "You are right, Debbie. He is a faithful God, and to Him alone be the praise," Tinu added, while Ada nodded in agreement as they reminisced on how far they had come. This was a rare moment the three friends sincerely cherished. They had hardly ever together for at least 5 years now. Schooling miles apart had caused unavoidable strain on their friendship. After their success in the university entrance examination, the trio had picked up their courses of study at different prestigious universities in the country. Tinu had opted to study business administration at the University of Ibadan, while Ada went for science laboratory technology at the University of Benin. Debbie, on the other hand, pursued her study in mathematics and statistics at Olabisi Onabanjo University, where her father lectured. The three of them were together during festive season, but it was difficult having ample time together. They were either distracted by the bustling activities going on around, or being caught up by the activities themselves. Now that the three of them are awaiting their call for the National Youth Service, the renowned National Youth Service Corps NYC program, they couldn't wait to grab and enjoy the opportunity that came checking on them. "Three jolly friends, how are you now, day?" Mama Brenda hailed the three friends, interrupting their discussion. "Hope you now they enjoy yourself," she asked. "Yes, ma, thank you," the three friends chorused. "Make you now well done, oh," she greeted them again. The trio had become Mama Brenda's special and favorite customer After their fateful meeting at her place several years back, she had always showered them with attention and often made extra efforts to make them very comfortable. It's almost 6 years since the three friends first met at Mama Brenda's place on that fateful day. Mama Brenda was a famous food vendor in Shagamu town. She owned the biggest restaurant, Mama Brenda's Place, in the area and was popularly known for her unique cooking style and tasty delicacies. The wonderful aroma from her cooking pot could get anybody hypnotized from a far distance. The sound of the sizzling oil as they fried the fishes and meat could get them even more entranced. When the palatable meal is eventually served and sighted, imaginations could run wild with inspirations, and tongues wouldn't stop salivating. Be sure you wouldn't stop hearing your favorite melody in a bid to retain the taste of the sunshone's meal after having a portion of it. Our delicacies were one of a kind. Customers trooped in and out of our restaurant daily, which indeed had made our business very lucrative. One thing that also sets her aside from all other food vendors in the town was the affordability of our meal and the hospitality she showed to our customers. Our customers are always glued to our restaurant after their first encounter. Although things are much better now, something used to cause bottlenecks in the operations, dispensing of customers' balances. Customers who made purchases with a higher currency denomination tend not to have a smooth exit from the restaurant after their meals. They either get delayed by the cashier, who would have sent someone out to split the currency into lower denominations, or be paired up with another customer who would automatically become their transaction partners for that day. They will themselves look for ways to unknot its strings, using binding them together by reconciling the accounts. The latter was the case for Ada and her friends. "I'm sorry, your balance will be joined with 2 other customers," the cashier said to Ada on that hot Saturday afternoon. He soberly handed over the 500 rand note in his hand to her while Ada stood speechless, stuck in between 2 emotions, anger and worry. Anger because this would cause a delay that could mar her plans for the day. Although what had just happened didn't take her by surprise, as that had always been the norm at Mama Brenda's place. She had hoped that that day would be different, but alas it wasn't. Worry because of the repercussion of what had just happened. Some minutes before that time, her mom had requested she get her a plate of jollof rice from Mama Brenda's place. The reason was clear. She wanted fast food to take before resuming her duties at the hospital. Ada's mom was a nurse and had been scheduled for an afternoon duty that Saturday, and she was almost running late for it. Well, Ada decided to use a stone to kill 2 birds after sighting the hot jollof rice, which had just emerged from the cooking process. She quickly ordered a plate and planned to devour it as quickly as possible, and then dashed out to make her mom's delivery at the speed of light. But obviously, that wouldn't be possible anymore. She reluctantly collected the money from the cashier and looked in the direction of the 2 other customers. Standing and frowning at the cashier were Tunu and Debbie. They looked frustrated and very angry. At that moment, Ada knew she was in for a deep mess. She thought to leave her balance with them, but this would make her mom angrier. "How do we share this money, ladies?" Ada finally asked her newly found transaction partners, who were obviously running out of patience. "My share is 100 naira and I urgently need it for my transportation fare home," Tino replied in a rather harsh tone. "Well, mine is 200 naira and I'll be very glad if we can do the sharing as quickly as possible," Debbie replied. Tino, who had just run an errand for her sister, was very tired and cranky. She had gone to buy some embroidery materials from the town's central market for her sister, who was a renowned fashion designer. She had toiled for hours before getting the design that matched her sister's request. Getting the exact match wasn't the only thing that was of priority. Its prompt delivery was very important as well. Her sister had been off and on with a quarrelsome and choosy customer who had been changing and returning her dress styles for days. She had even threatened to withdraw her patronage if her dress didn't meet the required specification when she came for the collection that evening. There had been a rough time with her. Debbie, on the other hand, came to have her lunch after hours of intense reading at the town's public library. She was famished and had no choice but to check in with Mama Brenda for a feeling delicacy. Reading on Saturdays had always been a routine she had observed in preparation of the upcoming university entrance examination. At that point, her only worry was her parents. To be seen hiding away in a place she never told them about was as potent as the case in the law court. Her mother, Mrs. Smith, would ask a ton of questions about every little detail she saw. She would even demand that her questions be answered in relation to Debbie's father's possible response to them. "What do you think your dad would say if you had told him that?" Mrs. Smith would ask repeatedly. She was a moving questionnaire. Little wonder why she was a teacher by profession and a university lecturer's wife. Debbie couldn't imagine leaving her balance with them because she had many plans on how to spend it. After a minute of silence by all parties, Debbie finally suggested, "I think we should go outside to see if we can split it from some roadside vendor." They both agreed with her, and they confidently stepped out of Mama Brenda's restaurant to see how they could accomplish their new task together. After they had gone to about 3 vendors and their efforts were fruitless, they decided to stop and re-strategize. "This is not working, and I'm seriously running out of time," Tinu complained. She looked fagged out and desperate for a solution. Debbie stared blankly. She seemed to have given up on her situation. "I have an idea," Ada said as her face suddenly lit up, as if she had just experienced an eureka moment. "If you don't mind, ladies, can we try buying something? Anything at all, and possibly get a balance from the purchase, which we can subsequently share amongst one another?" Tinu looked away, a little disappointed at Ada's suggestion. She expected more. She wanted a more feasible solution. The thought of meandering around the old town looking for what to buy and whom to help their predicament made her even more discouraged. On second thought, the 100 naira was the only money she had for her transport fare. How could she possibly buy anything with it? That was not going to be possible. Debbie, on the other hand, wouldn't dare give it another try to roam about the town looking for what to buy. The thought of being sighted by her mother was already a hard nut to chew. From the look on Debbie's face and Tina's face, Ada knew her suggestion wasn't going down well with them. She then suddenly burst into tears. Debbie and Tina looked at Ada with amazement. They were shocked at her sudden outburst of emotion. Not only was it totally uncalled for, but it was also very effusive. It was then they both realized that Ada might be in a more complicated situation. "What's wrong? Why are you crying?" Debbie asked with pity. Tina moved towards Ada, still surprised and confused at Ada's reaction. She was visibly concerned as well. "I'm finished," Ada said, crying out even louder. She told Tino and Debbie what was at stake if she didn't return home on time with the balance. She explained to them that her house was just by the corner and the mom would not accept any explanation for her lateness. She also convinced them that she was sure she would be able to split the 500 naira note. When she got home, tears rolled down her cheeks uncontrollably. After listening to her for a while, Debbie and Tino felt pity for Ada. They knew they had to give her a priority. "Will we go with you to your house and explain how things are to your mother?" Tino said, pacifying Ada. Ada was surprised. She quickly dried her face with her palm. She looked at Tino and then Debbie, who was smiling and nodding in agreement with what Ada said. "You may lead the way now. You don't want to waste any more time," Debbie said as she gestured with her hand. Ada could not hide her joy. She smiled wryly and thanked her new allies profusely. The 3 of them headed for Ada's house and hoped to turn the situation around for good. The end of chapter 1.
We have come to the end of this episode. Thanks for listening to the Bimhunter Hive Podcast. See you in the next episode.
You can get a copy of this book by contacting the author via our social media handle Bimhunter_Hive for Instagram, and for Facebook simply search Bimhunter Hive and you'll be able to get in touch with the author. We look forward to hearing from you.